Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today, we are going to be looking at positive character traits.
Okay.
And we're going pretty deep with this. I think you're really going to like this.
Yeah, sounds good.
Our source material is a collection of what it calls useful English words.
Okay.
And it's focused on positivity and all these positive attributes.
Right.
But the example sentences for each word are what really makes this list something special.
Interesting.
It's like every single word gets like a little story, which is, I think our listeners are really going to appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's amazing how one little example sentence can really just illuminate a concept.
Yeah,
It can turn a dictionary definition into something that's relatable, something that's even memorable.
absolutely. So let's just jump right in.
Okay.
The first word that caught my eye was altruistic.
Okay.
And the basic definition is unselfishly concerned for or devoted to the welfare of others. Pretty straightforward. But the example sentence is, her altruistic actions helped raise funds for the homeless. And that really got me thinking, it's not just about, having these good intentions. It's
Yeah.
about actually like taking action.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a really important point.
Yeah.
Altruism isn't passive.
Right?
It's about actively seeking ways to contribute to the well-being of other people, even if it requires some sort of personal sacrifice.
Right.
And then think about the ripple effect of those actions.
Wow.
So if someone is inspired by that person's altruism and decides to volunteer their time or donate to the cause, I mean, the impact just multiplies.
It's like that old saying, actions speak louder than words.
For sure.
Now, another word that jumped out at me was benevolent.
Okay.
And it might seem similar to altruistic, but I think there are some subtle differences.
Interesting.
The definition is well-meaning and kindly,
Okay.
and the example sentence that they provide is a teacher who goes above and beyond to help struggling students.
Right.
So, I don't know, what do you think about benevolent?
Well, what I think is fascinating about the word benevolent is that it often implies a sort of gentle authority
Oh.
or leadership.
Okay.
We see this in a lot of historical figures who use their positions of power to enact positive change, to uplift others, or to create a more just society.
Oh, wow.
Think about leaders who are known for their compassion and empathy. They're often described as benevolent.
Yeah. It's interesting how a word like benevolent can connect us to these larger historical figures and their legacies. And it makes me think about another word that I think is particularly relevant in today's world, diplomatic.
Okay.
Defined as skilled in dealing with sensitive matters or people.
Yeah, diplomacy is so crucial, especially in today's complex and interconnected world,
Yeah.
where we're constantly interacting with people from diverse backgrounds and perspectives.
Right.
It's about understanding the nuances of communication, reading between the lines and finding common ground, even when there are disagreements.
Absolutely. The example sentence for diplomatic, it says, resolving conflict without drama, which I think we can all relate to.
For sure.
We've all encountered those situations where a little diplomacy could have gone a long way.
Absolutely. Think about like the workplace, for example.
Yeah.
A diplomatic leader can navigate difficult conversations, mediate disputes, and create a much more harmonious work environment.
Yeah.
They know how to listen, actively validate different viewpoints, and find solutions that benefit everyone involved.
Really great points. And speaking of the workplace, the next word that caught my attention is diligent,
Okay.
which means hardworking and careful in doing something. And the example sentence here mentions someone who consistently produces high-quality work because of their diligence.
Right.
I wonder if this is a trait that is maybe sometimes undervalued in a world that prioritizes speed over precision.
You've hit on something really important there.
Yeah.
In our fast-paced culture, there's often this pressure to get things done quickly.
Yeah.
But diligence reminds us that quality and attention to detail really matter. Think about fields like science or medicine or engineering, where precision and accuracy are absolutely paramount.
Yeah.
A surgeon performing a delicate operation, a scientist conducting a meticulous experiment, an engineer designing a complex structure.
Right.
All examples of professions where diligence is not just valuable, but absolutely essential.
It's like that saying, measure twice, cut once.
Exactly.
And speaking of putting in the effort, This word list also includes enthusiastic,
Okay.
which is defined as showing intense and eager enjoyment, interest, or approval. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that truly enthusiastic people can be incredibly contagious.
Yeah. Enthusiasm is powerful because it's infectious.
Yeah.
Think about the times you've been around someone who's genuinely passionate about something.
Oh, yeah.
Their energy is palpable, and it often rubs off on those around them.
Yeah,
It can inspire creativity, boost morale, and even make difficult tasks feel more enjoyable.
I completely agree. Now, we've covered some great traits so far,
Yeah.
and I'm already starting to see connections between them. But there's one item on this list that's not a word, but a phrase.
Okay.
And it really intrigued me from a language perspective.
Right.
It's could get, which the list describes as a modal verb construction.
Yes.
So,
Could get is a fascinating example of how subtle shifts in grammar can have a big impact on meaning.
I have to admit, my grammar geek side is showing a little here.
Uh-huh.
But I'm genuinely curious about how something like could get fits into our exploration of positive character traits. So how does something like could get fit in with positive character traits?
Well, modal verbs like could, would, should, and might all introduce a sense of possibility or potential.
Okay.
They're not about certainty, but rather about exploring different paths or outcomes.
Right.
And could get, specifically, often suggests that a positive result is achievable,
Okay.
but it requires effort, maybe even a bit of a journey.
So it's not a guarantee,
Right.
but rather a suggestion that something positive is within reach if certain conditions are met.
Precisely. And that aligns with the idea of cultivating positive character traits.
Hmm.
It's an ongoing process, a journey of growth and self-improvement.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we all have the potential to develop these qualities within ourselves,
Right.
but it takes conscious effort and a willingness to learn and adapt.
So I'm seeing how language and personal growth are really intertwined here.
Absolutely.
It's like understanding the nuances of grammar can actually give us a deeper appreciation for the process of becoming better versions of ourselves.
For sure. And that brings us to another word on the list that emphasizes this journey of personal development, imaginative.
Okay.
The definition is having or showing creativity or inventiveness. And the example sentence talks about finding imaginative solutions to complex problems.
I love that example because it highlights how imagination isn't just about daydreaming or coming up with these whimsical ideas.
Yeah.
It's a practical skill, a way of thinking outside the box and finding innovative solutions to real-world challenges.
Exactly. Think about all the great inventors, artists, and entrepreneurs throughout history. They all possess this remarkable ability to imagine possibilities that other people just couldn't see.
Wow.
They challenged conventional thinking, pushed boundaries, and ultimately changed the world with their creativity.
It's so inspiring to think about how imagination can be this driving force for positive change. And speaking of creating a more positive and inclusive world, the word inclusive is also on this list.
Yeah, inclusivity is so essential for building strong communities and fostering a sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
The definition that they provide is including all kinds of people and treating them all fairly and equally.
Right.
And the example sentence talks about creating a workplace where everyone feels valued and respected.
That resonates with me on such a deep level.
Yeah.
I think we all have a responsibility to create those environments where everyone feels welcome, regardless of their background, beliefs, or perspectives.
Absolutely. Inclusivity is about recognizing that diversity really enriches our understanding of the world. It's about embracing different viewpoints,
Yeah.
learning from one another, and working together to create a more just and equitable society.
Now, here's a word that I think always makes me smile, kind-hearted,
Okay.
which is defined as having a kind and sympathetic nature. And the example sentence is so lovely. It talks about how even small gestures of kindness can brighten someone's day.
Kindness is such a simple yet powerful act.
Yeah.
It's about showing empathy, compassion, and a genuine concern for other people.
Right.
And it doesn't require, these grand gestures or heroic feats.
Right.
It can be as simple as a smile, a listening ear, or a helping hand.
It's true, we often underestimate the impact of these small acts of kindness.
Yeah.
But they can have a ripple effect, creating a more positive and supportive environment for everyone.
And speaking of making a positive impact, the next word on the list is proactive,
Okay.
which means creating or controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened.
That definition might sound a little bit formal, but the example sentence really brings it to life. It talks about someone who anticipates potential problems and takes steps to prevent them, rather than just reacting after the fact.
Proactivity is a key trait for effective leaders, problem solvers, and anyone who wants to make a positive difference in the world.
Right.
It's about taking initiative, anticipating challenges, and taking ownership of situations.
It's about being solution-oriented and taking responsibility rather than just waiting for someone else to fix things.
Precisely, it's about having that can-do attitude and a willingness to step up and make things happen.
Okay, we've explored so many fantastic traits today.
Yeah.
But there's one more I want to highlight, respectful,
Okay.
which is defined as showing politeness and consideration for others.
Respect is foundational to healthy relationships, productive collaborations, and a harmonious society.
For sure.
It's about acknowledging the inherent worth of every individual, valuing their perspectives, and treating them with dignity and kindness.
Absolutely. The example sentence talks about listening attentively to others even if you don't agree with their views. Right.
That's such an important aspect of respect. Creating a space for open and honest dialogue where everyone feels heard and valued.
And it's not just about listening politely, it's about engaging with different viewpoints, thoughtfully and respectfully, even when those viewpoints challenge our own beliefs.
That brings us back to the idea of diplomacy and how crucial it is for navigating these potentially challenging conversations.
Yeah.
And this ties back beautifully to our earlier discussion about could get and the power of language.
I see the connection too. The way we communicate can either enhance or detract from these positive qualities.
Yeah, like if we're trying to convey respect,
Yeah.
choosing our words carefully and speaking in a way that's considerate and thoughtful can really make a difference.
Exactly. It's about using language as a tool to build bridges rather than walls, to foster understanding rather than division.
It's not just about, avoiding grammatical errors.
Yeah.
It's about using language in a way that reflects these positive character traits we've been exploring. It's about wielding language with precision and intention, using it to uplift, inspire, and connect with other people in a meaningful way.
I love that idea, language as a force for good.
Mm-hmm.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today,
Yeah.
I'm curious what's resonating most strongly with you.
Yeah.
Of all the traits that we've discussed, is there one that particularly stands out for you?
Maybe it's a trait that you already embody and you want to strengthen, or maybe it's one that you aspire to develop further. Whatever it is, we encourage you to just reflect on how you can integrate these positive qualities into your own life.
Because even small changes can have a big impact.
For sure.
Maybe it's making a conscious effort to listen more attentively, to express your appreciation more often,
Right.
or to approach challenges with a more proactive mindset.
The key is to start small, to make that conscious choice, and then to observe the ripple effect that it creates in your own life and the lives of those around you.
It's like planting a seed.
Yeah.
With a little care and attention, it can grow into something truly beautiful.
Now, here's a final thought to ponder as you continue your exploration of positive character traits.
Okay.
We've talked about how language can reflect these qualities.
Right.
But could it also work in reverse? Could focusing on developing these traits actually enhance our understanding and use of language itself?
Wow, that's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
It's like a full circle moment. We started by analyzing words, and now we're considering how our own personal growth can influence our relationship with language.
Precisely, as you continue to cultivate these positive qualities within yourself. Pay attention to how it impacts your communication, your relationships, and even your perception of the world around you.
It's an invitation to view language not just as a tool for expression, but as a reflection of our values, our aspirations, and our ongoing journey of personal growth.
And remember, this journey is an ongoing process. There's always room for growth, for learning, and for discovering new ways to embody these positive traits.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of positive character traits.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights, a renewed appreciation for the power of language, and perhaps even a little inspiration for your own personal journey.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep those positive vibes flowing.